Good morning, Patriots. Trump's Greenland deal seems to be pushing forward. March for Life and Australia's new anti-hate law, as well as a 5-year-old was detained by ICE, basically arrested. What? We're going to break all of that down for you today here on the Bald Brad channel. As always, it does help support the show if you hit that like button. And if you want to go a step further, this is absolutely free as well. Hitting that subscribe or follow button, depending if you're on YouTube, Rumble, X, doesn't matter where you're at, always helps support the show. We're a one-man crew here, meaning there is no producer, there's no corporation, there's nothing. It's just me, some guy in his closet, giving you, preaching you the news that tends to lean conservative. We are a conservative biased news outlet, if that's what you want to call news outlet. It always sounds fancy when you say stupid things like that, but that's what we are, where I present you the news and you get to decide what the heck you think. You don't need me telling you. That's for darn sure. Alrighty, well, let me actually get to X really quick. And it seems that Rumble changed up their studio without telling me. So that looks a little bit different today. That was kind of fun when we were starting up the show. Alrighty. So there was a 5-year-old that was detained yesterday. And that's what this looks like. It says on January 20th, I guess not yesterday, 3 days ago, my bad. A lot of people were talking about it yesterday. In Columbia Heights, Minnesota, ICE agents tried to arrest Adrian Alexander Cajona Arias. It's like, we just need the first and last part. An Ecuadorian asylum seeker as he drove Liam home from preschool. Well, the dad, that's who this guy is, he fled on foot. That's a nice thing to teach your 5-year-old, right? When the cops pull you over, what do you do? Yep, yes, sir. You run from the police. Whoever said that you're sticking around, are you crazy? Nope, you flee on foot, man. You get out of Dodge. So the dad, when ICE was trying to pull him over and arrest him, fled on foot. Now they should be asking you, well, what happened to his kid? No, he left him behind is what he did. He deserted and abandoned his kid, leaving the boy behind. Agents protected Liam briefly before detaining both. Now held together at a family facility in Texas. Didn't I always say this? That if you keep the children with the family, you're no longer separating them. But oh God, you're detaining them. You're arresting them. You're putting them in these jail cells. But then if you do separate them, oh God, how could you do it? See, the guy's separating families. He's tearing children out of their parents' arms. I told you, damned if you do, damned if you don't. School officials called agents using the child as bait to draw out relatives, while DHS said the mother refused custody. That's a key point. The mother refused custody and the father chose to stay with Liam. The case drew sharp rebukes from Democrats like Kamala Harris and VP JD Vance's defense, highlighting tensions in immigrant communities and stepping up deportations. I'm talking about this because I saw so many posts about people putting this child's face all over the internet and saying how ICE is detaining a 5-year-old. It's crazy how people will just read headlines. So here's Kamala.
We are living under an administration currently that is authoritarian in my opinion.
And corrupt. And incompetent and callous.
Remember, what's the rule of thumb that we always use whenever you hear a Democrat talking, especially when there's a microphone in their hand? We always say that they're what? Projecting. I'm just going to go back.
Corrupt and incompetent and corrupt and incompetent and callous.
Folks, Minnesota has a massive amount of Democratic fraud. What is she talking about? She's talking about corruption. Does she not want to look from her boss, Joey, receiving money allegedly from China, Romania, Ukraine, Gee, incompetent? I don't even think we need to speak on that one, right? Lady, you helped destroy the state that I live in. You're so incompetent, your own party didn't even vote for you, lady. Somehow, you guys dropped out the most, allegedly, famous president that's ever existed in this country's history. Yeah, you just kicked the can to him. And you're so incompetent, your own party didn't even vote for you. So I don't know what the hell you're talking about. And this last part, callous. Oh, you want to know what's callous? How you treated half the country all the time by calling us bigots, sexist, homophobes, racist, all that other stuff. You had a pretty calloused heart towards half the country, but that's the way you guys do things. You've always been that way. Ever since you had slaves. Yeah, they had pretty callous hearts against black people too, and they still do. Yes, sir. Oh, yes, sir. That hasn't gone anywhere. It's funny because she claims to be black, talking to a black man, but all the while, the whole party that, he likes to probably complain about of how, still oppressed, still can't get ahead, still somebody holding him down, some nameless, faceless, shadowy figures not allowing him to get ahead. Yeah, it was his party that he belongs to. Oh, God. Well, anyways, we have more here on this. Well, we're not going anywhere because JD Vance came out and talked about it. So here he is preaching truth.
Vice President Vance, a local school district here is alleging ICE agents detaining a 5-year-old after preschool on Tuesday. We've also seen multiple American citizens detained by ICE or harassed by ICE in the last 6 weeks. Are you proud of how your administration is conducting this immigration crackdown here in Minnesota right now?
Well, I'm proud of the fact that we're standing behind law enforcement, and I'm proud of the fact that we're enforcing the country's laws. But, you asked a question about this 5-year-old kid. I actually saw this terrible story while I was coming to Minneapolis. We just left Toledo, Ohio this morning for an economic messaging event. And I see this story, and I'm a father of a 5-year-old, actually, a 5-year-old little boy. And I think to myself, oh my God, this is terrible. How did we arrest a 5-year-old? Well, I do a little bit more follow-up research. And what I find is that the 5-year-old was not arrested, that his dad was an illegal alien. And then when they went to arrest his illegal alien father, the father ran. So the story is that ICE detained a 5-year-old. Well, what are they supposed to do? Are they supposed to let a 5-year-old child freeze to death? Are they not supposed to arrest an illegal alien in the United States of America? If the argument is that you can't arrest people who have violated our laws because they have children, then every single parent is going to be completely given immunity from ever being the subject of law enforcement. That doesn't make any sense. No one thinks that makes any sense.
Well done, JD. Well done. Matter of fact, let's go to Kamala Harris' post here because I want to see if people are spewing truth. This is Harris's post, right? Just spreading lies. And I also just the irony. I just want to call this out really quick. Please indulge me. Does nobody think it's wild that the Democrats all of a sudden care about children? Folks, if you were unaware, they pulled up abortion clinic RVs to abort children, to delete children at their own convention at the DNC. Some of you are like, whoa, hold on a second. Whoop, turning up the volume. Say that again, Brad. Right now, Democrats are alleging that they care about children. They legitimately had abortion RVs, multiple, pull up to the DNC to delete children. What? Yeah. And these are the same people that want to trans your kids. These are the same people that want to indoctrinate your kids. Yeah, sure. You guys don't care. All right, let's see here. Libs at TikTok says, of course you're blaming ICE instead of blaming his dad. Well, of course you can never. That's Democratic ideology right there, folks. You can never blame the source. Blaming his dad who abandoned him. Thank goodness you lost. America dodged a bullet. Big time. Nick Sorter, and this is why we can't say that word on air, but it's the B word, is unemployed. Nobody buys your fake outrage and BS lies. Get a job, loser. Jeez. People are so harsh. I think I'm harsh, but then I go on the internet. I'm like, oh, I'm actually not that bad. People are rough, man. His father came to the country illegally and then abandoned him once ICE showed up. Blame him. He was abandoned by a criminal illegal alien father. Did your interns not get the memo? Damn. Oh, yeah. Oh, this is a good one. Oh, I don't say look at the screen too often if you're on audio. What they have is 4 boxes. And they have a box of 500,000 migrant children going missing under Biden's administration. Gone. Didn't know where they went. Some of the children under the Biden administration were sold off into forced labor. That's called slavery, by the way. Sex trafficking. Human trafficking. And the whole bit. And then if you look to the right, there's a picture of Bart Simpson with cataract glasses on for blind people. and a blind stick. A walking stick. And he's blind. And he has a Democrat on his shirt. It couldn't be more accurate. But when ICE takes care of a 5-year-old, and as you could see, freezing cold out there, the car looks like it's about to freeze over. Child in ICE custody after fugitive dad abandons him, so ICE stays with the child, takes care of him as you do. Democrats want to zoom in on that one, and they want to talk about that. Not about the 500,000 children they lost. No. Or the minors that are getting, evil, heinous things committed upon them by these illegal immigrants. No. Let's turn the other way on that one. Yes, sir. We can't talk about that. Caroline Leavitt almost every week stands on that podium of the White House press briefing and shows the press and the Democrats the heinous things these illegal immigrants are doing to children. Every week. It always has something in their child something. Child R, the reapy. We can't say that word on the internet anymore because I don't know. That's just what they tell me. And you know what they do? After she goes through like 20 of them, right? Trump just did it like earlier this week. Stood on the podium for 2 hours taking the press's questions live to go through a list of all these guys holding up. What about this guy? Nobody wants to talk about this guy? What about this guy? Yeah, sir, we're just curious on the ballroom. Is that still going to be taxpayer or non-taxpayer funded? They don't care, man. They don't care. These people are slimy. They're disgusting. Man. So anyways, that's been going on. People are just spreading a bunch of lies and the media are running with it, dude. The media are running with it big time. ICE has detained 4 students from the same Minnesota school district, including a 5-year-old boy. It's crazy, man. And this is what we have to compete with. And the mainstream media is doing it all. Here's AOC. Oh, isn't it sad that this is the FaceTime that the Democrat Party gets? Her and Kamala and Gavin. At least Gavin's slimy, man. She's pretty good at her job, too, in terms of a politician being slimy.
But you obviously believe ICE should be abolished, but there are many in your party who are not going that far. Mm-hmm. Is that a problem for you?
I think any step in the direction of reining in and cutting the funding of an agency that is attacking U.S. citizens, that are kidnapping 5-year-olds, that are using them as bait.
Kidnapping 5-year-olds? Wow. I told you. It's difficult because I'm about to say that she's smart, but she's not. She's an idiot. I wouldn't even trust her making my drink at a bar because she's a prior bartender. She'd screw that one up too. It's probably why she's no longer a bartender. She screwed up too many drinks. She couldn't pour a beer correctly. Folks, she's smart in the aspect of she knows what she's doing. This is why you have these people with those pink hats on that's supposed to represent you know what out there. And they're usually these white liberal suburban women out there screaming. Ah, ah! The same people that were screaming at Teslas like 6 months ago that were sticking their hand in their butt and wiping caca all over Teslas. They were screaming at cars like dogs do. Like they're weird, man. These people, they're mentally ill is what they are. They will take what she said and go, and they'll go to their liberal husband that's wearing the wife's panties too. Hey, Joey Bag of Donuts, did you hear that they're kidnapping the kids again? Can you believe it? Like a bunch of idiots.
To open doors and that are privately circulating, that they can violate everyday Americans' constitutional rights by busting into their doors. They deserve to be defunded. I'll take any step in that direction.
Now we're back to defunding the police again. I mean, it's a circle. It's a circle. Unbelievable. Yeah, let's no defund the police. Yeah, go right ahead. That's a soundbite for us right there. They want to defund the police. That's crazy. It really, really is. And the police aren't backing down on these rioters out there in the streets. While we're here, we might as well just show this really quick. They're it's getting more violent out there. And here's a little bit of what that looks like.
Get back right now! Get back! What's your name? What the Get the What the I got you.
Just want to point out, do you guys see that there's not a single woman ICE person? They're out there. They're not in here. Do you want to know why? These are some big dogs. If you're a woman, you just don't got it. I hate to say it. I don't mean mentally. Physically. These guys could whip my you know what. I ain't exactly a small guy either. I can't. Oh my God. He freaking mates the guy when he's getting detained. Hold on a second. If you're not looking, you got to look at your screen. Hold on. Yeah, I'm laughing. I don't like these guys. These guys are freaking protesting our law enforcement guys that are making our country safe again. This guy's getting arrested. And as he has his hands practically behind his back, the homie comes up and just maces him. I almost want to put it in slow motion for you. Look at this guy. Look at this guy right here. Get a good angle. Get under him. Whoop.
What the hell? What are you doing?
Tell me he maces her too. Can you imagine he gets down and he goes, hey, shh. I have a secret for you. Just look at me real quick. Just All right, anyways, it keeps going, and just the beeping's bugging the heck out of me. Beep, because everyone's cussing, because, you know, these guys are heroes over here. Do you notice there's no Mexicans, really? You notice that? Or let's just say any other race, it's all white people. Very unique, though, that this time around, there's no Mexican flags being waved or Ukrainian flags. I guess that's a little unique, a little different nowadays. A little odd. But here they are saying it's kidnapping. Mm-hmm. Now, just by looking at this lady, I think based on this, you could tell. I hate to say it. You could tell. And that, hold on. This is the look, and I'm sorry I'm about to cuss right now, so if you want to mute me, because I know some of you have kids in the car or kids around. I won't do it. I'm trying to be better. This is the, oh, you're stupid look. And ladies, I'm sorry, you'll pick up on this as well. But I'm really kind of talking to the boys right now. Gentlemen, we know this face. Yeah. Unfortunately, thank God I don't live with it. Unfortunately, we've dated women like this. And this is the look of, oh, you're an effing idiot. Oh, really? Oh, you think you know? You think you know, and I don't know what you think I don't know.
Offered to take him and you saw ICE agents drive away with
Yes.
the 5-year-old boy.
Yes. And then I held another community member in their front yard sobbing.
Liam's mother was in
And they drove off with the boy instead of leaving him in the middle of the -5-degree weather. I know. Can you believe it? And then, hold on, please. That's my 5 minutes. And then when they were driving away, you're not going to believe this one I'm about to tell you. Everyone, shut up. I saw a community member down the street crying outside. I know. They were crying.
inside the house.
Did they, like, when you asked them why they were doing that, did they say anything, talk to you?
So, I don't remember if they did say anything back to me. There was a lot of yelling, and there was a lot of people, making a commotion. And so all I can speak to is the part that specifically that I heard and my response
Sorry,
to
to
that.
clarify, Liam's mother was inside the house.
I believe so, yeah.
Okay,
Did she say she wanted her child? Was she clearly, obviously saying, just leave him with me?
Again, I was not at that door when that was, as they were putting him in the vehicle and leaving.
Question for Mark. DHS officials have said that the father...
God, that guy looks tired, huh? This guy looks like he's just so tired of the BS.
abandoned this child. How does that differ from what your understanding is? You said that they were being held at Dilley. What is your understanding of the conditions in which they're being held? Do you know if Adrian Conejo Arias has any sort of criminal record to speak of? I understand you were saying he was in the asylum process.
Sure, I'll take those in reverse order. To my knowledge, I looked through the Minnesota criminal database and found nothing. So no, there's no crimes here.
Just illegal. But he looked through the database, you guys. Yeah, the guy's in the asylum process, as is everybody when they come over here. They all seek asylum. Doesn't mean that they do. The vast majority of them don't even meet the standards of asylum. But he was in the asylum process, as was everybody that literally Joey allowed to just pour into this country. But no, he come through it, guys. He did a lot of work. I'm sure he did. Except we're just going to miss that whole one. Yeah. Well, here's JD Vance taking questions. That's how it's done. You saw those people taking questions. Well, now let's let our side take some questions here and let the boys work a little bit. Let the adults step up to the plate with the microphone this time.
Earlier this week, local law enforcement accused federal agents of racial profiling. Why are there so many U.S. citizens being caught up in these operations?
Well, I think your question assumes something that's not necessarily in evidence, which is that when there are American citizens who have been caught up in some of these enforcement operations, very often it is people who have assaulted a law enforcement officer.
Or they're with the illegal aliens. I mean, it goes both ways. Let's just say that I'm harboring a family that's illegal here, and I'm an American citizen. Well, guess what? You got ICE knocking on my door. Probably going to get detained. Maybe pulled in, questioned. Hey, you got any more of these things around?
Being arrested because they violated the immigration laws. They're being arrested because they punched a federal law enforcement officer. That is a totally reasonable thing. Yes.
No, JD, see, brother, you're missing it here. It's not a reasonable thing because they're Nazis is what they are. Yeah, they're racist. They're white supremacists. That's at least how the left justifies it. Yeah. The left justifies it because they're Nazis. But don't worry, though. We have this right here. Incredible. The sex criminal migrant who ICE said is on the loose, the one they were supposed to look for when they burst into the house of the frail guy in his shorts, was just in jail the entire time. Oh, no. Well, that's because you want to know why? Is sometimes the jails don't communicate with ICE. But that's what we get. That's what we get. Wanted to make sure I share that with you, and that's what's being spread, and you're going to see that a little bit more as time goes on. Matter of fact, let me go to this clip here. I reposted it. It's a great educational clip. It is on my TikTok page. It's not by me. It's by somebody else, and I reposted it. It's this clip here. I'm going to go ahead and play this for you guys because the left ain't going to like it.
Are ICE agents real law enforcement with real law enforcement powers? A lot of people are saying they aren't, but that's wrong.
Independent of what you think of them, under the law, which is what we talk about here, ICE agents are real federal law enforcement officers. They actually complete their training at the same giant federal facilities where other agencies like the Secret Service, DEA, and Marshals train.
As for the law, their authority to investigate and make arrests.
I'm fully aware that I know all of you are saying no, duh. Like none of us are baffled here, right? We already know all this. Like there is millions of Democrats out there, progressive lefties. This blows their mind. So much so that they don't even believe it. And these guys, if you don't watch these guys and gals, are actually really good. They don't just break down stuff like this. They break down all stuff, laws, as they said. Really, actually great, unbiased videos. This is blowing their mind. They don't even believe it.
For immigration crimes falls under these two federal statutes, sections 1226 and 1357. But because they are sworn federal law enforcement officers, they also have broad Title 18 authority. Title 18 being the general code of federal criminal laws in the U.S.
And this is a big point of misunderstanding for people. A lot of people think that ICE only has authority for immigration-related offenses. And while
because they're dumb. That's all it is. People are really, really dumb. And people think when I say that, oh, you think you're better than me? No. I'm dumb too. It's just you're dumber than I am. We're all dumb to some extent. I mean, there's some really smart people, like these couple here is really smart. I will never come out and say, oh, I'm as smart as like Ben Shapiro or Jordan B. Peterson or Dennis Prager or any of these guys. No. I'm an idiot. I say it to you guys all the time. All the time. I mean, some of you are kind of go, no, Brad, you're really smart. I don't believe you. Sorry. I'm not holier than thou. But at least I am aware that I'm an idiot. Some people are like, well, ICE can't, they're detaining a 5-year-old, they're arresting 5-year-olds.
it's true that ICE's main mission is to enforce immigration-related crimes. They won't be staffed on a bank robbery, for example. They still technically have the legal authority to arrest for tons of different federal crimes committed in their presence, because they are sworn federal law enforcement.
This is how we see ICE agents in the news arresting for things like obstruction and assault, even though these aren't specific immigration offenses. And because tons of people in the comments are getting this wrong, this is just an important clarification for you to know. Are ICE agents real law enforcement with real law enforcement powers? A lot of people...
You know where I think the mix-up is happening with them? Do you know where I think the mix-up's happening? Do you know how a lot of times the Democrats will say, they'll put forth these policies and title it, Inflation Reduction Act, and it doesn't actually reduce inflation, and they're just used to stuff like that? This is what it is. It's immigrations and custom enforcement, ICE, that enforcement part. That's where they're getting mixed up, is because they look at titles and they're so used to their party coming up with a bunch of stuff that actually does the opposite. They don't, it says enforcement. No. Flip it. Yeah, that means not enforcement, according to Democrats. That's how they work. That's how they function. That makes sense to me now. I've been trying to put this puzzle piece together for quite some time and going, why are they so confused that ICE is enforcing the law? That would be why. Remember how I said it's always the opposite. Whatever they're talking about us, calling us all these names and doing everything, remember, they're just talking about themselves. You just saw it most recently with Kamala Harris. So just take the opposite of whatever they think. So when they see immigration and customs enforcement, you have to think that they look at that and go, oh, you're not supposed to enforce the law. Then it makes complete sense. See the weird pretzel thinking you have to do to get to their level of thinking? And you can't spend too much time in that realm, folks. I'm gonna give you a really great tip. You can't spend too much time in that headspace. You'll go retarded. And I don't want that for anybody. I know it's the R word, but I really do mean that. You're welcome. I should have that thing that's like the more you know. Can I just ask a question in the chat? Nah, I'm gonna move on. All right, Trump's Greenland thing. We got Trump Greenland deal. We're going to do some rapid fire news here really quick. New details have emerged regarding Trump's historic Greenland deal. Did I say Green New Deal? You want to know why I said that if I did? Is because people have been putting that in my comments when I'm talking about Greenland. Green New Deal. And I loved it. And I'm taking it. Trump's Greenland deal, also the Green New Deal. Historic Greenland deal. I wish Trump would say that in front of AOC. I am calling it the Green New Deal. You know how pissed she would be? She would, because, you know, Latinas get a little fired up. You know, everyone knows that. Stop acting silly. I've dated some Latino women. They get fired up, dude. And half my family's Mexican. They get fired up. Yeah, Green New Deal. She starts spazzing out. That motherfucker. I hate him. He's an orange Cheeto man. That Nazi's taking my shit, you know? It's the best deal it's ever been done. Nobody's ever come up with a greater name than the Green New Deal. Thank God that I'm the one who coined it. The Green New Deal. It's new. It's never been better than ever. And I came up with it. Just watch her lose it. You know what I mean? Start beating the crap out of her husband. We don't promote spousal abuse here on the show, by the way. It's a joke, okay? For those lefties that weaseled your way in here. Oh, could he talk about beating people's wives and husbands? It's a joke, okay? Don't lecture me on beating people when you guys are out there protesting, beating the crap out of law enforcement. Don't you lecture me. Or journalists. You guys love beating the crap out of journalists. Oh, really? Well, who? I don't know. Andy No. Nick Sorter's a few. Cam is another one. Gee, I don't know. You guys kind of assassinated Charlie Kirk for just talking into a microphone. There's another one for you. Oh, gee, a sitting president. You tried to assassinate him twice, or at least actively doing it. Lord only knows how many times you tried to plot it. That's just off the top of my head. I mean, I can keep going if you'd like. I don't know. Gee, every assassination attempt that's ever been done in this country was like 99% Democratic. Shall I keep going? Kind of violent people. I mean, you had to fabricate the migrant story of Border Patrol whipping migrants. You guys remember that one when they're on horseback and it was just the reins in the photo? Because they're too stupid. And it's remarkable because they're actually the party that used to whip human beings. They were called slaves. They're called black people. There was white people in the middle of that too. We don't ever want to talk about them because, you know, according to revisionist history, white people were never slaves. Yeah, Democrats love whipping black people. They did it for hundreds of years. Yeah, they did for a long time. I should say hundreds of years, but they did it for a long time. A long time. But we can't talk about that. Yeah, because that's talk about their history. Yeah. They've always been violent. I mean, they're the ones that wanted segregation, right? They always say it's the Republicans that wanted segregation. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. It was the Democrats. You want to know who put forth civil rights with the voting? Republicans. You want to know who freed slaves? Republicans and white people, by the way. Can't talk about that, though. Yeah. All right, here we go. Trump's Greenland deal. Back to this. After President Trump highly politicized address to the World Economic Forum. Really? I don't think it was. Oh, publicized. Yeah. Okay, publicized. Politicized. My bad. Publicized, where he reiterated his desire to acquire Greenland and double down on his threat of new tariffs. The Europeans came to the table with an offer of their own. And President Trump seemed to like it, saying he'd agree to the framework of a deal. That agreement stops short of giving the United States outright control of Greenland, but reportedly makes way for the U.S. to expand its military presence on the island, which is all we want. We don't have to take over Greenland. Truthfully, I don't really want it. If we get by with going, yeah, you know, hey, we just want your minerals and we want a ton of military bases on this bad boy, we're good. Yeah, have the Danish keep it. I don't care. Like, the whole purpose was to keep us safe for our national security. But reportedly makes way for the United States to expand its military presence on the island. In Minnesota, the administration is cracking down on activists who invaded a Christian church service over the weekend. At least 3 of the activists have been arrested. Vance traveled to the state this week to show support for the federal agents carrying out the president's immigration enforcement agenda. The people might say, well, why is Trump not going there? Probably too dangerous, to be honest. Really, probably too dangerous. Not to mention he was in Davos, but still, either way, very, very dangerous. Why? Because Democrats are in the area. I mean, it's all solvable. It's not a hard problem to solve. There's one variable. Why can't Trump go there? You want to know the one variable? Democrats are there. That's why. March for Life 2026. Here we go. On the heels of a pivotal announcement from the Trump administration banning the use of aborted fetal tissue in research. Oh, God. I'm sorry. That's just. Do you know when like you're about to throw up and you get that bubble under your tongue? That's what I have right now. One moment. Jesus. You forget there's some really sick stuff going on out there. Hundreds of thousands of pro-lifers are expected in Washington, D.C. on Friday for the annual March of Life. On Thursday, the National Institutes of Health ended the use of abortion-derived human fetal tissue in federally funded research. Notably, though, if someone wants to donate tissue from a miscarriage, NIH can use that for research. The new policy is another win for the pro-life movement. On the eve of the 2026 rally, the March for Life will be headlined by Vice President Vance, who is having a fourth child, I heard. So congratulations, JD, on the fourth child. Still getting it in, my friend. Good for you, dude. The theme this year is Life is a Gift. Yeah, I don't mean to get too much in the weeds on this one. We're all a miracle. All of us in the chat. You know what I mean? We're all superstars in our own way. Because you're competing against 1,000 others, you know, at least 1,000. Okay. And you made it to the finish line. You know what I'm saying? We're all winners. We're all sprinters. Some of us slowed down over the years. Okay. That happened after we were born. But before, I'm telling you, we were all stars. We were Olympians. We were the fastest mother effers that's ever existed. But it is true, man. It really is a miracle that we're here. And we get to live out this life, whether, you know, we have horrible things happen in our life or not. Think about all the people that don't get to live. When you look at it that way, it's pretty much a blessing. And then on top of that, not the fact that we're just living, but dude, we live in the greatest country that's ever existed in the history of the planet. We live in the greatest thing that's ever been created, existed, and that we, not only did we get to be a life that was born, but dude, on top of that, we get to live in this country. That's why very rarely people will ask, like, again, this shows a lot of entertainment. If you knew like who I truly was off camera, I don't really get upset all that much. Like it takes a lot to really piss me off or like for me to get mad. I get like annoyed, like, oh, that's really stupid. Like, why would you say that? But I just usually keep my mouth shut. I'm a pretty quiet guy. I've always shared that. You want to know why? Is because I'm grateful, man. I'm not saying anybody else isn't, but like, I'm grateful because like, dude, I won the lottery. I know we still want to win the lottery, right? That's like the cherry upon the cherry. But dude, I get to live a life. I've lived a pretty good life already. It's not like I'm not a Kardashian, but I live the life the way I want. And I get to live in this country. Man, I made it, dude. I made it, you know? And I think when you look at things that way, no matter what BS comes your way, you kind of just pull back the curtains a moment going, yeah, this sucks in my life. This sucks. I'm going through this. Somebody's ill in my family or I'm ill. You still won somewhat something, you know? And we're all blessed. We're all blessed. Don't get mad, Brad. I don't get mad very often. Put it this way. I can't actually remember the last time I was mad. I can't. I don't get mad very often. Australia's new anti-hate law. Oh, here we go. Everybody pucker up. In response to the terrorist massacre in Bondi Beach, which we covered here, heinous, awful thing going on, Australia has passed new anti-hate and gun control laws that have sparked more controversy. Well, sounds like it. Dan Ryan, the executive director of the National Conservative Institute of Australia, says the anti-hate laws in particular are a serious invasion of Australian freedom of speech. It always goes against the grain of those who are actually law-abiding citizens. And by the way, even if you said something that was hateful, you still have the right to say it. I mean, it's here in the United States. Democrats say things that are hateful all the time. It's pretty hateful to call me a Nazi when I'm not one. It's pretty hateful to call me a racist when I'm not one. But you have the right to say it. And you want to know why all that stuff doesn't bother me when somebody starts shouting at you or calling you a racist or saying stupid stuff? Do you want to know what doesn't bother me? Because it's not true. The things that are true are the things that would bother you. It's just, and by the way, I mean, playing 20 years of hockey, ice hockey, you think you calling me a Nazi or a racist or like any name, you think that bothers me? Do you know how many names I've been called over 20 years of playing ice hockey as a player from the crowd or from the other guys on the other end of the team or whatever, calling you names and shit talking you for 20 years, your own coach shit talking you on the bench. You think you doing this is going to do something? And then on top of that, being a referee of ice hockey, then you get in a whole different realm of shit talking. Come on. Let's not be silly here. According to Ryan, the new legal codes would allow the government to outlaw groups that have engaged in hate crimes. What do you classify as hate crimes? You know what I mean? Even if no other existing statute had been violated. Wow, we're reversing this. Hold on. According to Ryan, the new legal code would allow the government to outlaw groups that have engaged in hate crimes, even if no other existing statute had been violated. Wow. Both sets of new laws ignore the real problems that led to the Bondi Beach attack. Correct. It never actually addresses the problem. You know what I mean? It doesn't solve it. In the same way, there's tons of different firearms out there. And I'll give you an example of this. Tons of firearms you could use to commit a heinous, evil crime. You know what the left will? We need to get the AR-15 because that's the one that they're using. Well, what's going to stop the next guy from just using the litany of other guns that are available? Yeah, but it's going to stop from using the AR-15. Yeah, but the goal is to stop the problem. See, there's many variables that go into this problem, right? And in mathematics, sometimes when you remove a variable, you can actually still get to the same answer, believe it or not. Yes, I know. Mind blowing. It's too much for them. It's too much. Yeah, no. They don't get that, you guys. They think because you're going to remove the AR-15, these weapons are more. That's going to solve it. Yeah. No. Their real agenda, they're stupid, but they're not total stupid. Their agenda is to infringe slowly on your Second Amendment right because the end goal is not to have any firearms here in the United States. I understand this is Australia, totally different country, totally different set of rules, all that stuff. I get that. I'm concerned with here. I don't care about Australia. I mean, I want them to have firearms so they can protect themselves. I'm pretty sure the people on the beach would have loved to have a firearm to go against a guy that's just mowing them over. Two guys, guy and his son. But one moment. But that's the end result. I mean, that is the conclusion of what they want in terms of the Democrat Party is to continue to infringe on your Second Amendment right. So at some point in history, we don't have the right to bear arms anymore. And once you don't have that right, well, all your other rights are done because it turns out everything comes down to force. The force doctrine. And that's why our show logo is the pistol with the mic, is because, yeah, we do a podcast, but the Second Amendment protects that First Amendment. And all the other ones, to be honest. All your rights, even if they're given down by our Lord and Savior, which I do believe, at the end of the day, all of them are protected by that Second Amendment. That is a huge amendment, and they keep trying to chisel it away. And that's why us conservatives and Republicans and independents and some Democrats, they understand that. Both sets of new laws ignore the real problems that led to the Bondi Beach attack. As Ryan says, the underlying cause of what occurred in Bondi and the underlying cause of the sort of ethnic tensions that are playing out on the street have been the problem with our immigration program in Australia. Yeah, but you can't say that because you're racist. What do you mean immigrants are doing that stuff? To be fair, it's not just immigrants. There's actual citizens, and that's why you need to bring back the insane asylums, which I think didn't Trump do I saw a segment somewhere that Trump signed an executive order bringing back insane asylums. Matter of fact, let me see if I can pull that up for you guys really quick. Trump goes, I hate to do it, but we got to bring it back. Let me see if I can get this for you guys. It was recent. Maybe I'm just reading into it. Let me see here. I'm trying to see if any of you saw that as well. I'm trying to see if I can find the clip. Yeah, here we go. Wait. No executive. Let me see. This is what I got right here. Because I thought he said, yeah. He did say it at Davos. All right, I got you guys.
We're cutting illegal aliens off welfare and other government benefits, and I have directed that starting immediately, there will be no more payments to sanctuary cities because they are really just sanctuaries for criminals. They're really protecting criminals, and those are the ones we have to get out of the country: murderers, drug dealers, the mentally insane. They emptied their mental institutions into the United States.
So you have that, right? The mental institutions. White House review. Trump said he signed an executive order to reopen mental institutions and insane asylums to get severely mentally ill people off the streets and address homelessness and public safety. He blamed Democrats for past closures that contributed to urban decay, recalling his mother's explanation of a nearby facility as housing very sick people. Supporters praised it as compassionate help amid mental illness. Yeah, there's a lot.
His voice or see his face.
Oh, God, okay. There's so many mentally ill people.
Long tested. Signed an executive order to bring back mental institutions and insane asylums. We're going to have to bring them back. Hate to build those suckers, but you got to get the people off the streets. There's a reason.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that need to be tested. The issue is that whoever's doing the testing, you got to be careful because sooner or later they might start locking us up, right? I don't want illegal immigrants here. They're breaking the law. They're siphoning from our system. They're taking more than they're contributing. They're also competing against us, which creates more demand, not enough supply, which is causing prices to increase, blah, 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 all these things. They're going to think you're insane, dude. Look how they already think, you guys. Look how they already think. And when those people are behind that clipboard and they're checking those boxes, you're the insane one, not them. And I hate to tell you, there's going to be a lot more of these progressive lefties running the insane asylum than there are the actual rationale people. And you're effed, man. You're in some big trouble. You're the problem. And you know I'm damn right when I say that. You know I am damn right that they think that we're the crazies, right? That's why they call you a Nazi. They're the people that are screaming at Teslas and wiping their own doo-doo on cars are the ones that are going to tell you that you're insane, and they're the ones holding the clipboard. Think about that. Yes, the people that are assassinating Charlie Kirk and are totally for that happening because the guy said some stuff they didn't like. The party that went after Donald Trump multiple times, the party that fabricates and makes stuff up. Yes, they're the ones that are going to be holding the clipboard. They're the ones that are going to say that you're insane. You're going to be in a padded room bouncing off the walls. Wee, wee, wee. Like a fish out of water. Man, oh man. All righty. Well, we got a Scott Jennings clip to cleanse our palate here. Always nice to see Scott. We always say this. Scott is single-handedly keeping CNN. It's none of these people. This man right here, Scott Jennings, is keeping CNN afloat. And it's funny because, Abby thinks that she's the one doing it. Are you kidding me? Nobody watches this for you, Abby. We all watch it for Scott. That's why we watch the clips. We don't nothing else surrounding it.
Federal law prohibits undocumented immigrants
then why are
from receiving
1.4
Medicaid
million
benefits.
on it? Why are
That's a figment of your
million?
imagination.
It's a figment of the CBO's document.
This is the guy holding the clipboard. That's what he's going to tell you. The illegals aren't receiving funding. The illegals aren't getting free health care. It's like Obi-Wan with the stormtrooper. These aren't the droids you're looking for. It's a figment of your imagination. Men could become women, and women could become men. That's the party holding the clipboard.
Do I believe in universal health care? Yes. And I'm proud of that. We're one of 16 states to provide care to people regardless of their immigration status.
People who are in the country illegally also can't get Medicaid.
Sure
That's
they can.
federal law.
Sure they can.
They can't get Medicaid.
They also
Medicare,
can't register to vote. They also can't register to vote, but we just found one in Maryland who was running the Des Moines school system.
Oh my God, one!
Do I believe in universal health care? Yes. And I'm proud of that. We're one of 16 states to provide care to people regardless of their immigration status.
The beating heart of the Democratic Party right now is, what can we do for illegal aliens?
Oh,
we want to keep them in the
true.
country. We don't want them deported. We got to give them health care. That is the reason for the Medicaid rage.
Do I believe in universal health care? Yes. And I'm proud of that. We're one of 16 states to provide care to people regardless of their immigration status.
Federal law prohibits.
If you think about this show, I've talked about this in the past. If we live in a simulation, how many times do we stumble upon clips that totally give credibility to what we just talked about, even though the show's not scripted? Some people think it is, which is odd. Like if you looked at, there's no script here. I have notes sometimes because there's so many facts I want to throw in there. I can't memorize all that stuff. Friday's episode, there's no show notes. If we live in a simulation, I think whoever's running the show on the simulation is on our side. Because how many times do we just stumble upon a clip that totally gives credibility of, like in this case, holding a clipboard? You're crazy. You don't know what you're talking about. This isn't happening. Oh, stop it. You're crazy. Little interesting. That's all I'm saying. And I think the person running the simulation has a sense of humor, if that's a thing. And they're on our side. Well, thank you for hanging out with me on this Friday. We'll be back here on Monday. Hit that subscribe button, but help me out. When I end the show, if you can leave a comment, that's always extremely helpful. It builds engagement, and that's what YouTube wants to see, a lot of these platforms, because it shows, hey, people are engaging, people are liking what they're seeing, and we'll send it out to more viewers if YouTube doesn't want to continue to shadow ban me. And we have a website, baldbrad.com. If you want to make a donation over there, links in the description for everything. Make your life easy. The link will take you directly to the donation page. We get 97 cents of every dollar. So that we get 97% of your money. YouTube takes 30%. Rumble takes like 20-something%. We get 97%. So if you want to head over there, don't feel like you have to. It's just there for those that want to. Always appreciate you guys' support. It helps go in paying for the programs. The website alone is hundreds and hundreds of dollars a year. Stuff. All this stuff is expensive. If you would like to, don't feel like you have to. With that being said, hope you guys have a lovely weekend. Pray for this country. Pray for Donald Trump, and pray that the left doesn't get their hands on these insane asylums, or else we're screwed. Love you guys. Take care of one another. God bless. See you, Patriots.